Are you too afraid to take risks? Find out why you should change that mindset on today's episode of the Freedom Club Podcast.
Welcome to the Freedom Club Podcast, where we discover the fight for freedom, fulfillment, passion, and purpose. Your host is Curt Mercadante, Gallup certified strengths coach, an agency founder who is dedicated to coaching individuals seeking to level up their life and their businesses. The Freedom Club is about unlocking your talents, turning them into strengths, and crushing your objectives. You can learn more at curtmercadante.com. Welcome to the Freedom Club.
And this is the Freedom Club Podcast. I am your host, Curt Mercadante. I hope you are well. I am so happy that you're here today. I really appreciate it. And if you would be so kind, if you like what you hear today, if you like what you have heard on past podcasts, if you would be so kind to tell your friends, your family, your colleagues, anyone who you think would benefit from our message of freedom and fulfillment, pass the word. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, if you could drop us a positive rating or review, those are like currency to us. They help us grow, continue to grow our listenership around the world and reach an ever-growing audience with our message of freedom and fulfillment. So thank you for being here today. Listen, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's. It was kind of a fun one. It was a discussion between me and the buff Harry Potter, Stapho Thienpont. He's I know I butcher his name, but he's from Belgium originally, currently operating out of Sofia, Bulgaria. And as you know, some people on LinkedIn have nicknamed me Dumbledore, and he's nicknamed the buff Harry Potter. If you listen to yesterday's episode, you know why. So today I feature a little more substantive today. I feature part 2 of our discussion. Stapho's got a pretty large private Facebook group called the Marketing Family, and I was a guest on his weekly Facebook Live. It's called the Marketing Family, I think, Weekly Picnic. And today I feature an excerpt of our discussion on that Facebook Live, and we talk about not being afraid to test and fail and learn and why that's so important, and also the importance of taking risks. So without further delay, here is part 2 of my discussion with the buff Harry Potter, Stapho Thienpont. I know, once again, I butchered his name.
So I've noticed that you've mentioned testing about 7 times so far. So
Yeah.
I'd like to hear a little bit of your thoughts about testing, like what's the value of it, how do you do it, how do you track it?
Yeah. So, I'm as a Gallup certified strengths coach, one of the things we do is we find people's kind of natural strengths, right? The things they are inclined to do. These aren't like skills. These are more ingrained in us. So one of mine is activator. So I'm impatient. I like to go, go, go. I like to fire the gun and then get ready and then aim it, and it's like that's what you do too. Yeah. It's like, you know what? Over time, I'll find the target. Just let me start firing away. I'll start running and I don't even know the destination. My greatest strength, there's sometimes, listen, that I wish I had a little more deliberation in me to kind of temper stuff. So I start going, I fail. So I test, I fail, I learn, I test again. Maybe I fail, maybe I succeed, but I learn. And then I just keep doing that. And if you're afraid to do that, people who are afraid to do that, what happens? They hide behind the planning process, or they hide behind, well, what are you waiting on? Oh, I'm building the perfect coaching program. Just go, just start going. Like I've launched group programs that are like 9 weeks without having written the first program. Because it's like, why waste my time if I don't have any clients? And so just test it, see what works. If you do videos, like when I do videos where I interview people, I know they're not going to get as many views, but I do them anyways because I have fun. But, like, all right, I'm going to suddenly start doing videos on Sundays. All of a sudden, no one was doing videos on Sundays, so I get 100,000 views. Now it's not working. Okay, I'm going to start on Mondays. I'm going to test that, and I'm going to go. But I think it's not just for marketing. It's for anything. People get so afraid of testing things and risking at all that they get stuck in this comfort zone where they don't do anything and they don't make any money They get stuck in a lifestyle, a workplace, a career that they just either hate or is just like blah. And because they're afraid to do anything, they're afraid to put one foot in front of the other. And it's like the worst that's going to happen is you're going to die. And that's probably not going to happen, you know?
Yeah. Like I remember at some point, I don't know how much money I had, but I didn't have so much money. But I had more. I had okay amount of money. Let's say I have like 5,000 euros, and I was just like, okay, so that means if I live frugally, I can survive for, let's say, 8 months. So basically, in that 8 months, I can do 7.5 months of whatever the fuck I want to see if it works.
Right.
And then I have 15 days at the end of it to find a job if things go south. Right. And I think people should be a little bit more pragmatic like that. Like, okay, so how long could I actually survive if everything goes to shit? And then they're very free to try whatever, because people they have this doom scenario in their head that's literally like years away. It's probably never going to happen. And there's so much stuff that is so much worse. There's more likely to happen that they're not considering at all.
And they build their own prison too. So it's like, I know people who will buy shit that they don't need and spend a bunch of money, or and not just a bunch of money. It'll be like an extra $500 a month, or they're in a car they don't need and doesn't really give them pleasure, except they feel they need to have it.
Yeah.
And then, so it costs them an extra $5,000 a year. But then when it comes time to eat at a nice restaurant, right? Because they found that if you spend money on experiences versus things, you're more fulfilled because you remember those experiences. When it comes time to do date night with their wife, oh, we can't afford that. People don't realize that money is renewable. I'm not saying it's easy to renew money and make money, but you absolutely can make it back. But time's not. Time you can't have back no matter what you do.
Yeah. I remember before, so I don't know if you're aware, but I lived in a jiu-jitsu gym in Stockholm for a really long time. And before that, I was like studying nutrition or some bullshit. And I went to visit Stockholm a few times. And I told my coach, like, oh man, I don't think I'll be able to move here. Like, I don't have the money. And he said to me, Stapho, money is not something you have. Money is something you get.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, okay, that makes sense. And then I moved like a month later.
Right. Yeah. People never have enough money. Like when they ask, oh, I'm ready to leave my job, but I don't have enough money. Or if they're in sales and they're miserable, well, I'll start my new lifestyle in 6 months because I got a big commission check coming. I'm like, you're always going to have a commission check coming.
Yeah.
So get out now.